Hello, Atticus here, and today I'm going to briefly run through how to play Gossip, a song by my creative vehicle, Darkwater Collective. Alright, let's dive in. This song is in drop D tuning, just standard tuning with a D at the low end instead of an E, and the key is D minor. So walking up the scale to start this riff, and then hitting this A note to outline our chord. That's a B minor chord there. Do that twice. And then we get into this little chuggy part, which is an 8-7 to 8-8 transition, like this. So let's play that once through all together. Moving into the bridge section, this has a similar feel as the verse section in that it is all D minor and dark sounding. I think you'll find that the chords in this section, however, are a little bit less than standard, and in a couple places they're stretchy and the transitions can be a little awkward. But let's walk through that together. So we'll start with this 8-8-7, and that's going to move to an 8-7-5. So this pattern here. And then we're going to take that pattern basically and move it all the way down the scale. The next phrase will be 7-7-5 to 7-5-3. That one is probably the most awkward in the song. So pattern-wise it'll sound like this. And then we can relax our hand a little bit with this D, which is 0-0-3. And the transition is to 0-0-2. And we're going to end it with power chords going up the D minor scale. Let's see if I can do that one time through at speed. Cool. At the end of the first verse and bridge pair, we're introduced to this rhythm. At this point in the song, we just play that once, and it's still in 4-4. When we see it arrive again at the end of the second verse bridge pair, we shift into 6-4 time. And the thing that makes it 6-4 is the extra beats we add by doing those chugga-chuggas. So, quick illustration of that. You can tell sometimes I'll play it alternate picking, sometimes I'll play it with all downstrokes to get that heavier chug. Whatever works for you is fine. As we get to the end of the song, this rhythm comes back for a total of 8 phrases. This is the same as we've played it to this point in the song, except that we'll add some triplet chugs to the middle of it. So to illustrate 2 phrases with those chugs in the middle, sounds like this. So getting into the solos. The first one reminds me very much of one of my early guitar heroes, Yngwie Malmsteen. To me it feels like it could be straight out of Black Star. In it we'll find some melody, but predominantly it's a string of descending 4s. So the low part will start here. And we'll follow that with this descending 4 pattern. Incidentally, if you're looking to gain some speed on the guitar, I find that this pattern of descending 4s lends itself nicely to that as an exercise. It's so pattern-based in the scale that I find it removes having to think a lot about what notes you're going to play, and you can just focus on the technique. So slow, and you can speed it up. You can speed it up some more, and so on. There is a harmony for this solo, but I'm going to let you find that in the tabs and go from there. The rhythm section of the second solo happens to start on a C chord. I'm just outlining that chord, as I often do. Then we're back to the D. Get a little bit riffy at the end of that phrase. Moving into the next phrase, we're back to C. Back to the D. Here I'm just walking up the scale. It's a fairly slow run, but the way that I'm walking it forces me to use the same finger on several of the subsequent notes, which makes it a little awkward at times. But if you work at it a little bit, I'm sure it will come. So starting on the D. Just like that. The rhythm section of the next part of the solo is the bridge. And we're just outlining those stranger chords, starting here from a high A. And as the bridge section moves down the scale, so does the melody. So we've gone from that A, we're taking a very similar phrase starting on G now. And then we have a pattern which is very similar to the descending fours we played earlier. Not quite the same, but similar. And we'll start that on this F. And there's a harmony for that section that starts on A third above the lower note, and it follows those thirds pretty much all the way throughout. Put those two together and you have a nice little third harmony. And then we'll finish this solo with a run that's just a D minor scale that happens to start on E, the 14th fret here. So slow it down, that looks like this. You have to slide up and catch that D. Takes a little practice there, well, to hit that cleanly every time. But up to speed. See? But it will sound something like this when you get it. And if you've made it this far, I'm guessing you might be interested to know when our next release will be. I'm filming this on March 10th of 2025, and I imagine I'll get this done and posted before the next release, which is called Learning to Fly, and that will drop on March 29th. I'd like to offer a quick thank you to Francesco for requesting the tabs for this song. It really makes me happy to know that there's people out there who like my music, and even so much so that they'd like to learn how to play it. Thank you. Thank you for listening and making this request. I've left a link to a post on the band's Facebook page, which has some images and instructions for acquiring those. They're free to download. It'd be great if you tell me you grabbed them so that I know they were useful. And if people are enjoying these or finding them useful, I'm certainly happy to make more. I would find it useful if you would leave a comment as to which song that might be, and I'll prioritize whichever thing gets commented on the most. Take care.